Good morning, everybody. My name's Miriam Divine, and welcome to our fourth cycle reading. And as you can see, I've laid out the decks. By the way, the fourth cycle, it's still hot. The cycles start in November, and it's based on the lunar cycles. So we just had our new moon, and now the cycle is about 28 days or so. Actually, I think it's 27 and a half or something wild. But anyway, they follow along and go with the new, the full, and whatever. This cycle is going to be interesting. Last cycle was very kind of voidy. If you haven't seen that, you can go back and watch some of my videos. But this one, it has a little lingering. But this one's going to be from all of the different gods and goddesses. You can see it's a chaotic mess here, and some of these decks I've never read from, so we'll see how this is going to go. This is an Inanna deck or Aphrodite, depending on which way. Isis, Ishtar. There's a lot of names associated with her. This is Hecate. This is Mother Earth or Gaia. This one is actually my Christ consciousness deck. This one is kind of a free-for-all goddess deck. And this one is the universe or astrology deck. So we got a lot of different pulling forces here. And of course we're going to open them up. And these I'll have to shuffle on screen because I'm sure they're in some kind of wild order. I don't know. But let's kind of start setting up our decks and setting up our workspace here. And that's kind of why it's in this chaotic mess here. Why I don't have it all organized already for you. Because that's the way they wanted it. It's going to be a lot of opposing, pulling forces, and some of them are going to work together, some of them aren't. I did cleanse the space with mugwort and stuff, and my bowl is still kind of hot. We're just going to kind of start moving some stuff around here. And this one wants to be at my right hand. This is the Christ Consciousness deck, and I'm not surprised. It can be a very forceful and yet very loving deck. Now, these decks have already been opened, have been pre-shuffled, but we'll definitely shuffle them a little bit before we use them. And I keep hearing this, you will use me a lot, kind of feel from this deck. It almost feels like an order, but we shall see how this plays out. I know Christ consciousness can be very overwhelming if you do not have some type of balance. I've seen a lot of my friends who delved into this energy here, and it overwhelmed them and basically took their lives over and forced them down some path. So you have to be leery when using this type of energy. And the other gods and goddesses know this, right? I'm seeing this deck that I've never opened before. So we're going to kind of do a deck reveal right here. In fact, we're going to move the Ascension deck and the Goddess deck. I want us to kind of sit and kind of watch. They want to kind of watch. It's kind of funny. They're all going to watch. They're all going to stand up and watch. Now, this is like a footnote deck. It's kind of a strange feel for this. But they're going to watch the opening. And hopefully I don't need a knife or something. This is, like I said, the Mother Earth deck. I get a very earthy vibe from this. I have yet to open it up. And as you can see, it's in Russian. So I personally do not read Russian, so this ought to be an interesting month with using this. Let's see. Oh, it opens up like a book. Interesting. So we'll have definitely this deck. I kind of been cleansing it for over a month now. Just sitting and waiting in space. So honestly, the box itself, the deck presentation is actually quite beautiful. And here's the book. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's all in Russian, so I would have to have my daughter help me translate this if we're going to even use this. Luckily, it's a tarot deck, so I should be able to read it. Gee, the book just wants to set aside here. And here's the deck itself. So, and actually, I'm just going to put this aside here. It's actually a very beautiful setup for the box, anyway. So here's the cards, and we're actually going to shuffle and pull one card right now for the feel of this deck and how it's going to present itself to us all. So we can see that is the Fool, most likely. Let's see. Is it actually in some kind of order? Yes, that's the Fool. Because here's like the Emperor or something. Okay. This ought to be fun. Boy, they're very sticky cards. So they're kind of sticking together. It's not a very thick card, so this ought to be some kind of... We gotta break them apart here a little bit. I don't know if we can get these... I'm gonna have to spin them a few times. So here's an ace of... It looks like air. Very Russian kind of feel. That's kind of how I got a feel for that. Oh yeah, listen to that. Let's do the same thing with this one. Kind of break them apart. Straight out of the factory. So they have been cleansing in the box, but we'll probably have to let them cleanse some with us. And we're going to have to do this several times here. Boy, they're really, really sticky. Let's just do this a couple times. No draws until we've shuffled really well. Not that it would make a difference anyway. I have no clue how to count cards and shuffle cards and choose the perfect spaces here. But these, they need to be broken up. I also feel like I need to put some baby powder on them or something. See how they're kind of really sticky. But I think that's the way it's kind of supposed to be. You know, this is a Mother Earth deck, if you think about it. And Mother Earth is this backbone heavy. She's mostly like pentacles. But in reality, Mother Earth is kind of like the backbone of everything. She's kind of just there penetrating everything, including all of the other gods and goddesses. We're all here, them included, when their energy is here in this Mother Earth kind of feel. We're almost like, I always kind of feel like a dream. Mother Earth is our energy. That's what the planet is. That's what the vibes, that's what everything that comes from or whatever from Mother Earth. The only one that kind of stands outside is this one. It's the astrology deck, astro deck, ascension, this astro ascension, but it's kind of like an astrology universe kind of feel. That stands outside, but yet has Mother Earth with it. The goddesses, sometimes, but when they're in Mother Earth's field, when they walked the earth, and I'm going to tell you right now, Christ walked the earth, despite what you want to say. Inanna, Aphrodite, walked the earth, and the different goddesses are kind of interesting. If you go, Hecate walked the earth. The other goddesses like Freya, Baal, all these other gods, goddesses, Zeus. You know, I tend to like them in the Greek names because I relate most with those, but they're definitely beyond that. They're Greek names. Those are just different renditions of the same gods, just like Inanna, Aphrodite, Isis, Ishtar. You know, all kind of have different. They're all kind of there, and they all kind of have their own vibe and feel. Well, this Mother Earth feel penetrates and fills everything, and they all kind of have to deal with it just like we do. We are part of the earth. Okay, and one or whatever cards come out, it's that one. Interesting, we've already seen this card, and I was wrong with saying this is the ace. See the little 2 down here? This must be the 2, and I'm pretty sure that's an air sign, which is, oh, let me see, air, earth is upside down. Where's that guidebook? I used to have a guidebook that told you all the different things. Let's see if it's actually in the book. Let's see if I can actually read it. Make sure that I'm really looking at the air sign, but I'm fairly sure. I'm not really up on all my signs here. Let's see if they're actually going to say, okay, this is the major arcana. This is animals. This is probably earth. No, that's still on the major. Wait a minute. Here, this is the 3 of. I kind of don't want to get it wrong here. Maybe I should type it in my computer. Because here's the 3 of air here, I think. Boy, I really should learn Russian here. It's the end of the airs. I'm pretty sure this is air. My Russian readers, that's, I think... almost get that that might be air. And this one's the earth. Wait a minute. Boy, this is a mess. Let me type in on my computer, and you're all going to have to forgive me for my... So maybe it's actually in one of my books. Hold on. Is it in the... Did they put it in here? Of course not. It's not in my tarot book. It's in my angel number book, maybe. Angel numbers have a lot to do with that. Let's see if they got anything in here. No, this is just straight angel numbers. This is fun, isn't it? You get to wander around while I kind of putz around, and I'm sure I just lost like 90% of the viewers here. Let's see. Signs via TR. Signs via triangles, maybe? Too bad I don't have my tarot signs. Let's try that. I don't know how the old witches used to be able to do this. Let's see if they got them here. Let's see. Okay. Maybe not. Let's see. Let's go to this website, see if it's going to tell me more. Wait. No, boo. Okay, so if I get a misread here. Come on. Oh my god, all these stupid pop-up windows. The universe could make it so I don't pop up windows. Okay, this site has nothing, absolutely whatever on it. I mean, there's stuff in here in Wart's Cunning Apothecary. Boy, maybe I can put it on images. Here it is. Okay, I found it. Okay. I found a beautiful picture here. And, okay. So, this is what I thought. Air sign. Earth, flip it over, with the same thing is the earth sign. Fire has no line in it, and water has no, I can't make it with my fingers here, has the same thing, no line in it. It's kind of interesting how I try to make the water sign with my hands here. And, you know, you kind of got that upside down triangle, but look what happens when you bend it just a little bit. It becomes the heart sign. So that's kind of interesting with the water sign, which is very related to that. But this is the air sign. So this is the two of air, which I kind of got that vibe right from the beginning. And it's this balance, right? And I get a very light, dark feel from this card. It's almost like the two sides of the same angel, the two sides of yourself. So this is going to be a very dynamically opposed, and this card really tried to come out twice. So let's stop playing with this deck. Let's spin it one more time. Boy, it really, like, I just literally, you saw me stuff it in there, and look where it broke. I mean, do you think Mother Earth really wants to tell us something there? Just come on, get inside somewhere so you don't keep popping up. Get in there. Okay. Okay, so let's pop some of these other decks here, and Universe says next. That's going to go up here. I bet all those little triangles are right inside this deck right here, because there's a lot of them in this. It's actually made by a girl in Norway, I think. Angel Skog. Wonderful reader. If you find her online, you know, I don't want to, you know, I hate to promote her, but she's actually a really good reader. So let's just go ahead and spin this one once. As you can see, look, here's the sign right up there on the top. But she makes these little decks, and they're actually very affordable and everything else. And as she's a small-time reader, just like me, show up and support her business. I think her husband does crystals. So Hecate says she wants the upper left. It's her space. So as you can see, I'm kind of moving around here. But she says she draws last. Open her last. Goddesses next. And this is a tarot deck too. In fact, what's this card here? Oh, that's just a read card. Okay. So we got a lot of tarot decks this time, right? Tarot, 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 tarot. So there's a lot of interesting feel for these tarot feels coming up this time. And we'll actually do a giant collective reading and pull probably one or a little bit from each to get a feel. I'm not sure how we're going to do this month. This is a very opposition month. And this is where that goes, right here in the middle, Isis or Inanna. It's kind of an interesting feel because I was first introduced in this life to this Aphrodite feel as Aphrodite. That's how she originally, in this version of life, came to me. However, in subsequent lives, in fact, actually one of the very first ones that I've ever explored as far as past lives, I was introduced with Inanna, as Inanna. And oh boy, look at this nice, beautiful, pinky deck here with the Goddess Tarot. Oh yeah. This deck might be a little risque for YouTube. Hopefully I don't get banned. Luckily my channel's so small, I don't make any money, and so they can demonetize me all day long right now, unless you all decide to start really watching. That, we shall see. So, here, look at the Fool for this one. Oh, this is beautiful. And it says, the Fool is the void. Now that is beautiful. I really like that. That's really interesting. Oh yeah, her deck's going to be fun. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle this one up just like we did the Earth deck. Oh my god. She says, don't shuffle me. This card right here is what she says she wants to say. This is the Queen of Wands. Right? The Witch of Wands. I assume that's the Queen is the Witch. Let's see, is the King coming up next? The Maiden? Wait a minute. No. I take that back. The Witch of Wands must be the Knight of Wands in this deck. That's it kind of... Yes, because here's the Queen and here's the... Oh, interesting. Kings are the Crones. Boy, we're definitely going to have to censor some of these. Holy moly. Okay. Yeah. Woo! Did you see that? We'll have fun with this deck. But the Witch of Wands is the Knight of Wands, which is... You will be in this state of movement. This is an action, fire action. And I just got that from my psychic coach, said psychic action this month. And a lot of creative action. So this ought to be fun. And she says, shuffle me when it's time. You know, I know y'all think I'm half crazy that I kind of get these, you know, there's different ways of hitting psychic stuff here. Sometimes it's... oh no. Whoa. Darn it, I'm dropping my beads. Last month, in my excitement, my bracelet of communication, and I'm not surprised it happened last month now that I think about it, but my bracelet of communication that I wear forever exploded and went everywhere. I'm kind of waiting until I collect all my little beads to put it back together again, because there's some of them still laying around tucked up underneath shelves and stuff around here. So I gotta put this back together. I don't even know where to put these because they're kind of rolling everywhere. I really need like a little cup or something. I'm not gonna put them on my thing this month. Where am I gonna put these? I guess we'll put them right here. Hopefully they won't go everywhere. Put them right next to my books here. Okay. So, yes, we're my rambling mess here. And this is going to be a kind of a rambling reading. Boy, it is dusty around here. It's my new place, by the way. And so that's why everything's kind of discombobulated, which I'm not surprised. All of these energies kind of want to... These actually go over here next to the Ascension deck. These Astro Dice. This... I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. It may not stay here on the board. Actually, it's not. It goes over here. Okay. These two beautiful little candles go here. Now, if you're a reader like me and you love to do this overhead stuff, make sure your candles are a little bit away from your camera. I almost melted up a camera, and for whatever reason we got two candles running side by side. We'll figure out why. Right, we'll kind of cover up this mess where I spilled all this wax over time. Whew, okay. As you can see, it's very kind of discombobulated. This is going to be a very energetic, powerful spirit guide cycle. If you haven't figured that one out yet. It's going to pull all of us a lot. And this is the, when you light a candle, you get your torch, you get your bigger flames to light these little flames to get going. This is the start of the fire horse. And so we're going to start with this very bright power energy. That's what all of this stuff is in this very big. This is like the first cycle of this year, but it's not the first cycle. We're in the fourth cycle of the witch's year, which starts in November. So, oh yeah, Hecate had me have this sit on my Hecatean altar space all month. The devotee, let's see, there it is. And this is all about my introduction into witchcraft. And when the gods and goddesses first came to me, I didn't have all these decks. I was just me, and I was getting assaulted like years back now by like all these energies. It wasn't really an assault. It was like a vying for attention. All these different energies were coming at me saying, join me, pick me, pick me. It wasn't really a pick me energy though, but it was all these different feels were coming together trying to get me. And look, Hecate says, look at that, I'll blow out your candle for you. Pick me. And they were all over the place, and they were everywhere. And they kept coming up in different spaces, and it was like Freya, Inanna, Aphrodite, I guess, Zeus even came in. Hera didn't come until a little bit later, but I had all these different feels, Demeter, Persephone. Hecate did too, but she was a little bit more subdued. And eventually, I made the decision. I didn't pick a goddess or god to talk to or work with, or they didn't pick me. They were all trying to pick me, and they were all trying to get me to work with them. But I came to this conclusion that this life, and it's the first life I've ever actually worked with Hecate in particular directly. And I've been now working with her for 6 years directly as a devotee or whatever you want to call it. Basically, I just work with her. She's my friend. It's kind of strange feel. This go around, like years ago when me and Inanna worked together, I was her like devotee. I was her follower. I was really in power league, but she was my goddess. She was the one in charge. Kind of like the way the Christ consciousness always kind of hits everybody. I am in charge. Do it my way. Or, I've been right now going through the Old Testament. Do it my way or I'll destroy you, kind of thing, right? It's kind of how I get from that feel. And, for anybody who has read the Bible, and most people have not read the Bible, they've picked and choose little bits and pieces. But if you go through the whole damn thing, you can't discount the Old Testament just because it says Old Testament. It was written at the same time the New Testament was written, many years after Christ was born. And then, of course, it gets rewritten by, the current King James is the popular one. It gets rewritten by all these monks for King James, who they go through and they've taken all the best pieces, not really rewritten, but interpreted and worked for King James. And so it's kind of has that language feel to it. But you can't say the Old Testament doesn't exist and it was just something prior that, it was just a lead up to to Christ, you can't say that unless you start discounting stuff inside of the Old Testament. And if you have ever read or even kind of perused the Old Testament, yeah, wow, you will find pieces in there that are like unbelievably appalling. So, and it doesn't fit within that piece. And I'm hoping, I still hope, it's almost like a prayer, that there's a part when I get into the New Testament that it says, the Old Testament, everything in there is discounted, don't believe it, don't follow any of that stuff, because, wow, there are some really harsh points in there, and the God of the Old Testament is very harsh, and I don't think the God of the New Testament is any less harsh. It's just more humanized, is what I kind of get a feel for. Anyway, let's get down to our readings. Let's get down to this month's cycle reading and how it's going to go. So I'm getting, there's phases of the moon. You've got the new moon phase, the waxing phase, or the phase that it's, the waxing phase, which is the new moon working its way up to the full moon. You have the full moon phase, and then you have the waning phase back to the whatever phase. And this beautiful little four-sided dice, I can't remember where I even got it from, is going to tell us which piece of the moon. So 1 would be, of course, the full moon, 2 is the waning, 1 is the new moon, 2 is the waxing, 3 is the full, 4 is the waning, is how we're going to judge where that card or whatever is coming from. So I'm almost getting pull one from every single pile and place it. Just take one right off the top. And we're going to go through these first. Now Hecate is kind of interesting. She gets a footnote card with hers. Okay, so this is where we're going to start for this month. This is what they're all telling us. They're saying straight off the top, without any kind of cycle piece, this is where we're at. So I might have to pull these off kind of slightly to the side here. Yeah, this reading is going to be like an hour long. See if we can kind of make some space. I don't know. We might have to... I'm going to burn my hand with these things. So... yeah, okay. Now we have some space here. So these are all the pooling cards. Christ conscious says, the Hierophant, you do not need to know. See how it came up in reverse with the keys? You do not need to know everything. You're not going to get every lesson this cycle. It's going to come at you with some confusion, and yet there's very deep understanding. Can I make this stuff up? How many times is Mother Earth going to give us this card? 3 times. 3 times. This card, the very first 3 pulls ever from this deck, is this duality of air, this duality of light and darkness. And look at the magic in between. You know how, this is like this in this prayer mode, but creation happens, right? Creation doesn't happen because everything's all good and fluffy. Everything's all pushing one direction. Creation doesn't happen if everything's all down and negative. For creation, you need this duality. That's probably why we got 2 candles here came up. This duality of energies. And when they collide, when they're right down the liminal space in the center here, this is when the magic happens. It's almost like, see how you got justice here with the light and dark balanced too? You're going to be walking a very thin line inside of Mother Earth. And you're going to understand it when you're not going to really understand it. It's going to have understanding underneath of this inside of Mother Earth. And Mother Earth is okay with this duality. Mother Earth's not good nor evil. In fact, the word good, I recently learned, didn't even exist. For if you read the Bible, I can't find the word good in there. So far in the Old Testament, the word good's not there. Evil and bad things are there, but good is just the lack of evil. It's kind of a strange understanding of the term itself that, yeah, wow, this is going to be a very powerfully magical feel with all these dualities. The universe, can I not, like, the Christ light, right? We're looking at ascension, bliss, inner peace, compassion, tolerance, forgiveness, purity, benevolence, service, sainthood. This month is taking you to, like, an all new level. And it's going to be, if anybody tells you the Christ conscious light is not powerful, this Christ energy is not powerful, they haven't touched it. They haven't experienced, or they're so scared of it, they're running away from it. I'm not saying you have to go get Bible thumpy on anybody, but that energy is very powerful. And all of the gods and goddesses use that energy, so don't ignore it, but don't get overwhelmed. And wow, look at this, Master Sandia. I mean, this is 5D. This 5D heart activation is you manifesting your 5D life, your 2.0 life, whatever you want to call it. This month is that so much energy, it's going to push you into a new timeline. Inanna? Yes, the Crone of Pentacles, which is the king. Oh boy, look at this card. Upside down, it's not quite as bad. We'll just leave it as it is. But the Crone of Pentacles is this, in your Master Earth phase, your ultimate power phase. I wonder if I should probably cover this up. Okay, your ultimate power phase. I did another reader does little charms to cover up this kind of stuff. I should probably do the same thing. So, yeah. And we have this Justice card. I believe it's Justice at 11. I believe 11 is Justice. And, in fact, I'm going to look that up just to make sure. As a tarot reader or as a card reader, there's two types. There's one type of reader who knows, has studied a million, like an architect reader, knows every card inside and out, has looked through their decks and studied everything. You get your intuitive readers, which is kind of more how I am, and you just kind of look at the card and feel, and this feels like Justice. Blind, with the sword, with the scales. An 11, let's just double check it just to make sure. The Empress. Kind of nice that the Empress popped up, the Hangman, and just before that is Justice. Yes, it's exactly what I thought. I'll have to keep that book handy for myself. But Justice, balance. Something is going to come to light with inside of this, and especially with the Mother Earth card, this ultimate Earth on top of the Earth Pentacles feel. It is kind of in reverse, however, which means that you may not be meant to see this right away, right? Hecate comes up with the end of the year of the snake. This is also a very healing, earthy card with the red snake. This is all about self-care, working with inside of the red earth realm. So this is not... And the footnote is the Eight of Wands, rapid movement inside of this healing. You're going to do a lot of healing. There's going to be a lot of karmic balancing happening. Yes, this month is going to transmute you. You may or may not be a magician energy feel. You may or may not be in that high priestess mode. It doesn't matter. The universe, all these energies colliding and working for you are going to change you fundamentally. And it's going to happen in a spiritual realm. It's going to happen in an earthy realm. There's a lot of healing involved here, a lot of karmic balancing and earth energy. And it's all over in here. Wow. Okay. That's our overall feel for what they're all telling us this month here. So let's kind of... They say they want to be all shuffled back in. So as you see, I'm just going to stuff them in here. We'll shuffle these as we get to them. If this card pops up again, I don't know what to tell you guys. It went right in the center of the deck. You know, we'll shuffle all of these. Where's that on a deck? I'm going to burn my arm like that. Okay. 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 So, all the cards are... That was our feel for the whole month. So let's get a feel for whatever we're going to get a feel for. And this is towards the end. This is in our waning portion of the month. As you can see, the number 4. I don't know if you guys can see the number 4. But the number 4. So this is in our waning portion. I saw one from the Mother Earth deck. And we're going to shuffle this deck. I did put that air card right in the center somewhere. It's been mixed in there. We're definitely going to make sure that this is cleaned in there. This one. Some pretty cards in this deck. Look at this pretty card. I love this with the third eye. We're definitely going to have to use some cheat boards and books with this, because I don't know my numbers right away. Or we're just going to read them as they come. So, Mother Earth and Gaia in this earthbound feel. It's this one right here. Right off the... I guess it's both of these. They're really kind of sticky. So, Mother Earth's very heavy and sticky this month. And these two kind of hook together. So the first thing Mother Earth's telling us is the... Is that not the Justice card? Number 11? Didn't I just get that card? We will find out. The wheel. Yes, I mean, this honestly, this Justice card, when you look at it, it looks very much like a Magician card, right? The Magician. Now, I'm pretty sure that must say Justice, but if we look at it, it's a very magical type of feel, very different than a traditional Justice card. However, it came out in reverse. So, at the end of the month, there's kind of like this muted magic. And right before that we have, this is probably the Hermit. Right before that we have this coming out of Hermit phase, right? This is actually looks very traditional to a Hermit card. Unless they've mixed these up somehow. Boy, and they're all in reverse. And we have this 4 of air, right? No, that's not air. That's... Boy, I just looked it up. I'm pretty sure that's earth. See, I didn't put the thing away. Like I said, this ought to be an interesting one. Yes, that's earth. Okay. So we have this 4 of earth. 4 of pentacles. And, like I said, this is a very, very interesting... Because this 4 of earth card has, like, a bee at the top, the builders, the foundations, and see how it's kind of holding up the bee, the foundations. But see how it kind of came out in reverse? And this Magician card came out in reverse. It's almost like a magical Justice card. I feel that at the end of the cycle and the waning of this cycle, it's going to be very shattering. It's going to be very unbalanced, very coming out, very... It's going to feel very unjust and unmagical. And your foundations are going to be shaken. This goes over here into the 4th cycle. Wait, how did I... Interesting. They want to put out the duality. I get these energies. They're like fighting, right? Put it out. Put it out. No. Nope, nope, nope. They want to be together. But, woo. Okay. And somehow I got this little 2 just laying here. That kind of goes over here. So, yeah, we're not. Don't worry about these weird astro dice here. That I'm not going to read those. Wow. I need a charm bag, but yeah, wow. Okay, let's get on to our next portion of the 3. So this is the full moon energy, and this is when you can do a lot of magical workings. But let's just kind of get the overall feel for us. This is having a really interesting time. I mean, this is a triple goddess. This is... Okay, it's that one. Okay. So this is kind of like our overall feel or question. It's this 4 of Pentacles again. However, it's an upright. Interesting. Down over here, at the end, it came out in this kind of earth-shattering. But this is like the universe... I get a different feel from this card. It's like the universe handing you something. See, look, here, take it. Take it from my hands. I'm giving you something very beautiful. What is that something that the universe is giving us? The 2 of Wands in reverse. The 7 of Pentacles in reverse. And the 4 of Cups. No, wait. No, that's the Lovers, isn't it? I mean, I got 4 of Cups, but I think that's the Lovers card, to be honest with you. Let me double check. You think I would know this stuff, right? No, it's not. Oh, no, wait, that's not the 4 at all. See, I'm like messed up. It is the Lovers card. Okay, so that's why I kind of instantly got it, because there's 4. It kind of is like a 4 of Cups kind of feel, but it's more of this Lovers, right? The Lovers and the 4 of Cups. It goes beyond. The Lovers card goes beyond the 4 of Cups card. The 4 of Cups and the 2 of Cups are kind of like this balance inside of your emotional energy. This goes to, you're not only balanced, but you're balancing with somebody or your own self inside. And so we got this kind of, this is what's being given to you. You know, the 2 of Wands upright is this actionable, you're taking action, you're getting this balance, it's coming straight at you. This upside down, it's your roots, it's your foundations. It's almost like she's holding up these 2 spikes, which are holding up everything, right? And it's something you don't need to go reach for. It's going to come to you no matter what, within the 7 of Pentacles being reversed, and it's obviously going to be some type of person. I can feel that there's going to be somebody who's coming into your life around the full moon. But, I mean, this could be yourself, but I don't feel that. I feel this is somebody else. And so this is our full moon energy. You're going to get handed this gift, whether you accept the gift or not. I mean, she's only holding it out. It's just there. You have to accept or not accept. But if you accept it, here's what's coming. You don't have to fight for it. It's just a foundational root, and it's going to be something very loving, or someone very loving in your field. Here's our full moon energy. We might get more full moons on top of this. Make sure my recording's still going down. Yeah, we're already at 44 minutes. This is going to be a long reading. So right now I'm going to stop. Thank everyone who made it this far inside of my reading. I love you very much. Let's continue on for our next energy. We're at least going to go until we get all 4. And here we got a 2. So the 2 is the coming towards you energy. I'm getting pulls from 2 different directions here. So we're going to pull one from both. The Christ consciousness is saying, yes, I'm coming towards you. Pull me. Right? One from the top, one from the bottom. As well as this Anana energy. Now, this is going to sound weird. I got this weird vision years back now. that they're coming back. The old gods are coming back. And it's going to take a while. It's going to take some decades, but they're coming. And there's going to be a great judgment coming. And one of the judgments, of course, is going to be for the god of An, or An is going to get judged. Okay. So, and Inanna's coming back. Even though Aphrodite's energy is still here, Inanna is going to... Yeah. Okay, so let's see what we got here. The Six of Swords. You're going somewhere. There's an adventure happening, right? There's something coming. You're definitely trying to get somewhere. There's movement out of whatever space. You know, we've been in this weird, or I've been in this weird liminal empty field. It's kind of like an in-between space. You're moving. You are moving. You have to be the rower. You're not just the passenger. You actually have to get down and start rowing, but you're moving out of this space. And with the Seven of Wands, I mean, look at this chaos mess with the Seven of Wands, right? You're almost going to have to choose a path decision here between all these different spaces. And a Ten of Wands in reverse, you're not, Inanna says you're not there yet. You're going to get there. Don't get me wrong. You're going to get there. All the signs point to you get there. Something beautiful. Look at these beautiful roses. I love roses, by the way. If you know me and you're going to see me one of these days, buy me some roses, red ones. And we have, whoops, we need, and we have this beautiful Knight of Cups energy coming out in reverse. So it's not time yet. You want it to be time. You want to be moving into this, I'm going to go and move into this Knight of Cups feel. It's not quite time yet for that. This has to come first. You need to move. You need to do this once. Now, if these don't exactly correspond with the lunar cycles, they don't have to, if that makes sense. But this is kind of how it's going to feel, like this step before this step before this step. So here we got our wait. I should have guessed that with ultimate creativity with the 3 coming up. But yeah, wow. Okay, so we got our last one, and we're just going to flip this one. We're going to force the last one to come up for this right now. And I'm getting Hecate. Here's her footnote card. It's that one right there. Trying to flip right out. Let's pull the Hecate with it. Boy, I dropped them on the ground here. Look, the 8 of Pentacles flew right out, right as it fell on the floor. Or actually fell into my lap. So right now, here's what we kind of, I think, need to do. But let's see what Hecate has to say about what all this stuff is. And those will come at the end. Okay. Asteria. I should have... Dreams. Right? 44. The 44 is like protection from the universe. But this is more of a dreaming card. And it's not necessarily your sleeping dreams. Yes, I'm sure if you haven't noticed, your dreams have been excessively vivid and wild. At least mine have for this last couple months. You know, I kind of have it as I'm kind of sleeping kind of weirdly on the floor because my bed is still in storage. So I'm kind of laying in this nest on the floor. So I think it's a little bit of the pain because I got like 2 inches of memory foam and then plywood. So, but your dreams, and it's not just your sleeping dreams, it's your waking dreams. It's the things that you want to create. See this? She's just grabbing it. All these little energies inside of her body, they're just everywhere. These are your dreams. You can make any of these happen. You can reach up and pluck them. They're coming out of different parts of your body. All of them. It's not just, this is the only dream you can have. When you narrow down to just one dream, you are soul-wise. You are so developed, your dreams are like exploding out of the universe. And in fact, before we pull another one, we're going to pull a universal card right here because we're right stuck in this universe, especially in the beginning. We're kind of coming out of this weird, like I said, liminal, voidy, magical space. And breakthrough, right? Okay, the dragon with breakthrough. Ba-boom! I got the dragon. We had the snake, the end of the dragon, this explosion. Your galactic guides are coming through, and they're saying, here it is, pa-pow, you're going to have such the most beautiful movement. 7 of Pentacles with the 8 of Pentacles. It's interesting. 7 and 8, right concurrent of you can grow whatever you want, and like this is you're making the choice to grow it. This is you actually doing the actions to make it happen, and it's growing into this physical realm. So your dreams that you have, the universe is going to give you the energy and strength to achieve. Boy, a ladybug just landed inside of my light. That's interesting. Yep. My gosh, my new place. Ladybugs. Ladybugs, ladybugs, ladybugs. They are like thousands of ladybugs everywhere. They're alive, they're dead, they're all, I mean, wintertime, you think ladybugs all, like, go away? Nope. They're still climbing around my new place. Bunches of them were living inside the walls and rafters. They're everywhere. But anyway, let's get back to the reading. Ladybugs might be very important, you know, that hard shell, and yet everywhere and beautiful, and we all love them all. But they almost give me a very pentacle vibe, by the way, ladybugs. Yeah. This is, you can make it happen. Those dreams, you're going to make them happen. This is the beginning. You're starting off with your dreams, right? As we look at this, you've got to make the movement and the choices, right? And it's not time to set up this choice, but it's going to happen anyway, because they're over here. There it is. You can choose for this lover path, and then the end, it's going to be an earth-shattering moment. So, do we need anything else for an overall feel for this? Yes. I feel one last card. This is kind of an overall closing message for our end. And Inanna Aphrodite says she wants it. By the way, this is my error of working with Aphrodite. I kind of pushed her off for a long time, and she's kind of, I know she's not upset about it because she knew it was going to come. This is our overall feel, the Queen of Cups. Aphrodite wants to say, and these are beautiful cards, by the way. I love these cards, but they're a little risque. There's a lot of boobies in these cups, and all these cards, actually, the Queen cards. This whole Aphrodite deck has got a lot of these. But it's a beautiful card. So you can kind of see the little girl laying here with all these cups. She's in her most emotional strength with everything. But the overall feel is love, right? We all saw this card came out in reverse, but I instantly flipped it over because I knew this card had to be flipped over. You are going to be emotionally strong with a lot of love. I am going to give you a lot of love. Give yourself a lot of love. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching my reading all the way to the end. Much love to you many, many times over.